The intel community warns that the U.S. is facing complex threats from China, Russia and North Korea. And the Director of National Intelligence, again, Avril Haines, says China is the leading threat. Watch this again, please. Roll it.
In brief, the CCP represents both the leading and most consequential threat to U.S. national security and leadership globally, and its intelligence-specific ambitions and capabilities make it, for us, our most serious and consequential intelligence rival.
Okay, so China's the most serious and consequential rival. Okay, Brett Velicovich with me now. I want to know if we, America, can we take on China, Russia and North Korea at the same time? Are we equipped to do that?
Well, Stuart, you forgot Iran. I mean, that's one of the most difficult pieces of it. And one of the most dangerous things that could be created from especially recent wars in Europe is a formal alliance between China, Iran, Russia, and North Korea. And I don't think we are prepared at this point. I mean, China is already at war with us. We have an archaic military industrial complex right now in the U.S. that likes to tell itself it's built for speed and innovation and this new digital battlefield, but in reality, the layers of bureaucracy and unnecessary oversight is getting in the way of U.S. innovation. And China's government, they seem to get it. They're running a lapse around how they rapidly innovate, and they're being very clever enough to combine their growing military power with its economic, technological, and diplomatic influence to further their goals. And I don't think Americans truly understand what's been happening in our country for years right behind our backs. China's quietly stealing our intellectual property. They're buying up land around military bases. They're gathering control over resources. And if they succeed in gaining control over Taiwan, which is a real possibility, the effects of this would have major consequences on global supply chains and chip shortages. And to understand that, Stuart, all you have to do is dig into what happened with regards to global procurement of these critical medical supplies during COVID. When our manufacturers in the U.S. couldn't produce enough medical supplies like masks and gloves, we had to buy from China almost immediately. They had the ability to shut down global supply chains, with the snap of their fingers.
Yeah, not good. Change the subject. A Marine sniper who survived the deadly bombing at Kabul airport back in 2021. He said leaders ignored his warnings about the suspected bomber minutes before the blast. Watch this, please.
Eventually, the individual disappeared. To this day, we believe he was a suicide bomber. We made everyone on the ground aware. Operations had briefly halted, but then started again. Plain and simple, we were ignored. Our expertise was disregarded. No one was held accountable for our safety. The withdrawal was a catastrophe, in my opinion. And there was an inexcusable lack of accountability and negligence.
He's the shooter, the sniper. He knew the bomber. He identified him, but he couldn't get authority to shoot him because nobody in command would give him that authority. That's not good, Brett.
It's unreal. I mean, it saddens me when I saw this. My heart bleeds for these soldiers because time and time again, our leaders fail them when it's unnecessary. Here we have a Marine who was trained to identify threats. He identified the threats, and he did every single thing the American people and the American government asked of him. Our military has shown such great strength and courage in Afghanistan, and our leaders failed them. It's just further proof of what happened in Afghanistan and this botched withdrawal. And the American people deserve to know the truth of what happened here. So people are held accountable and it doesn't happen again. And for some reason, this continues to be the case. How many times have we heard in the past decade of soldiers on the ground being told to stand down or to not do what's necessary to stop a threat before it's happened? I mean, I remember even during my time in Iraq, we were not allowed to conduct operations against senior ISIS leaders at the end of that war without having warrants signed by judges as if we were some sort of police unit. I mean, that withdrawal led to the rise again of ISIS when, there were chances where we could stop that leadership before they regrouped. And this is just another scenario where soldiers, cannot do the job that they were taught to do. And it's just a failure against the American government.
That withdrawal made us look weak, and we've been paying the price for it ever since. Brett Velicovich, thanks for being with us, Brett. See you again soon. Hope. Got it?
Thanks, Stuart.